All right, I got a quorum. Y'all please stand for the invocation and the pledge, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day that you've given us. We thank you for the opportunity to be able to meet and to take care of the business of the jury and of the parish. We ask now that you direct our minds to make the right decisions for this whole parish as a whole. Dear Heavenly Father, please guide, guard, and direct us in everything that we do. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. By all means, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call for any additions or deletions to the agenda. Hearing none. Is there any guests or public comments? Hearing none. We'll move on then to budget and finance item. Our first budget to speak on tonight is to adopt the 2026 general fund budget. Ms. Lilly?
Good evening. We'll start with the beginning fund balance projected for 2026. It's $14,172,528. Total revenues is $10,367,545. On the expense for the legislative portion, you have $343,508. Judicial, $1,525,620. Elections, $239,757. Finance and administration, $3,042,726. Other general, $1,236,762. Public safety, $202,347. We added the environmental protection. This is the Brownsville grant of $1,200,000. Cultural and recreation, $100,796. Health and welfare, $264,868. Community development, $402,000. Capital outlay, estimated to be $2,460,086. Total expenditures is $11,018,471. Transfers out, it's $2,038,392. And we'll go over what those are in the transfers out column. This is a net decrease in the fund balance of $2,689,318, leaving a fund balance projected at the end of 2026 at $11,483,210. At the bottom, you see that the 4-month operating expense contingency is at $2,852,794. Okay, and I'm just gonna hit the highlights on some of this stuff and go section by section, and we'll stop in case anybody has questions. So on the revenue portion of it, our ad valorem taxes are projected to be lower for 2026 by about $216,000. And then the interest earnings, that's going to be a little bit higher by $88,000. And you'll see that at the interest earnings section. Your interest on investments projected to be a little bit higher by $50,000. However, your gainings on the sale of investments is projected to be lower by about $80,000. Under other revenues, you see a payment in lieu of taxes for $100,000. This is the ET Gathering pilot program. Miscellaneous revenue, you see an increase for about 100,000. This is the commitment that we have from Expand in the Tourist Bureau for 50,000 apiece to go to the 4-H cover arena. Salary reimbursement from the DA, you see a decrease from 32,500 to 15,000. And then rental and royalties, showing a decrease for about 363,000. Hoping that would not be the case, but we have had a slow year on that. On your next page, and pretty much the line items I'm not covering are staying right about the same as this year's budget. Parish royalty fund, a little bit higher by 25,000 from 250 to 275. The state grant, that's lower. However, that is the LGAP and the CWEF for the 2026 funding went down. For the LGAP, the max is 60,000, and then the CWEF went to 156. And what that consists of is the LGAP for 2025 for 225. That's going to the KCS sewer. The LGAP for 2026 for the polling location for 60,000, and then the 100,000 for East DeSoto, and then 156 for the Waterworks District Number 1 for 2026 grant year. Like I said, under federal, you're gonna see that Brownsville assessment grant that we received from 1,200,000. Does anybody have questions on the revenue? Overall, we have about a decrease in revenue of about 516,000.
Yeah, I got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
On the grant giveaways this year. How we know who all getting them?
That's gonna be in the expense side of that of the page. Are you talking about the ones that we get from community asking for money?
Yeah.
We'll cover that, Ms. Burrell. This is just the revenue section, but we'll get to that portion of it.
Okay, because I'd like to know who got what.
Yes, ma'am. You have a sheet at in the packet that lists us every agency that has submitted a request, and we'll get to that. It's not part of the budget, but you have the list, and we'll go over that, and y'all decide whether we're gonna fund it, whatever agency or not. But
Okay,
we'll get to
the
that.
waterwork districts and all that.
The Waterwork District, all of that is a CWEF grant that is done by the state.
Okay.
Any other questions on the revenue section? Legislative section of the expenditure, and this is the jury salaries and benefits and just phone and other services. The only thing I want to point out on this section is the group insurance. You see this year we had 130,900 budgeted. Next year, 16,464. That is due that we're transferring money into the self-insurance fund instead of actual hitting that line expense. Out of this, travel and convention, we lower that from 30,000 to 25,000. That's about the only thing different on the legislative section. The judicial salaries for the court, they have asked a 3% COLA, just like we're asking for that. They want to be able to ask the same, and I think we've done this in the past. Professional fees for the court, we lowered those from 12,000 to 9,000. So you see a little bit of decrease in that. The insurance, we did go up on that from 1,200 to 1,800. Small equipment for the court, we upped that from 8,000 to 12,000. Court security, we brought that down from 210 to 200,000. Salaries for the DA, they are asking for a 3% COLA. You do see a big difference. We had budgeted $414,799. Proposed for next year is $333,524. That is due because one of the employees moved off their payroll and went into the sheriff's payroll. So you see that being paid under professional DA services. So you see this year we had budgeted $3,500. 2026 we estimate to be at $100,000. So there's your difference on those two line items. Anybody have questions on those two sections so far? Okay. We move to the elections, salaries for the registered voters. They're asking for the 3% COLA. However, we have two employees in there that are asking that their 3% COLA be estimated on their total salary as a whole, which includes what they get paid from the state. If we do that, that's an increase of about $3,700. I was told that these two employees have met their steps, so they're no longer going to get steps through the state, and that's why they're asking for that 3% COLA to be based on their total salary, not just a portion that the police jury pays. Election expense, we're bumping that from $60,000 to $110,000. We have about 4 elections coming up in 2026, so that's the reason for the increase. Travel and convention, bumping that to from $9,000 to $18,000 to cover their national conferences that they've been having to go out there, and it's mandated by the state. Any questions on that particular section?
Yes, on the voters, you said voters registration?
For the Office of Registered Voters, yes.
Did you say they want us to pay a COLA for the part the state's paying?
Yes, ma'am. And like I said, the difference of that is an increase for about $3,700 extra dollars. It's already calculated on that budget that I just gave you. So it's up to you as the jury to decide whether to do that or not.
Yeah, because we're going to do that every year. The state get way too much for me.
As far as I'm aware right now, she's asking for that for this year. Next year, we could go back to the way we've been doing it. The way we've been doing it is we just do the 3% COLA on what we paid.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I have budgeted based on what they asked for. If y'all want to make a change, you just let me know. For the finance and governmental
I have
section.
a question, please.
Yes, sir.
On the travel and convention for register of voters, $18,000, how many employees does that include? How many
It's 3 full-time.
So all 3 full-time employees are gonna go to these conventions?
Amanda's here. Okay, she want to step up and answer that. I know she does do a lot of travel or training for the commissioners. Is that correct, Amanda, too? But I don't know if they're included on here or not.
No, the commissioners don't travel with us.
Okay.
It's so our national certification that Karen and I have already obtained. It takes 5 years to obtain it, and in order for us to keep it up, we have to attend our recertification stuff, and that includes a Sierra Election Center conference. We typically try to attend the national conference. Sam Singletary, my confidential assistant that was hired last year, is still working on her certification. So she may or may not attend the conference with us. She's got several more years in order to take the 12 classes through Auburn University that are required to obtain that certification. She has 5 years to do it. So a lot of those she's been able to take online, but they're $500 a piece to take them. So we're trying to have her do her courses online instead of attending the seminars in person to save the travel money. But it does still come out of that budget because it's a class that she's doing online through Auburn University. And then the recertification process that Karen and I have to maintain, you have to attend a conference in person for Sierra Election Center. So like this year it was in Utah and it was quite expensive because it was in Salt Lake City. So it was our only option to go to do the recertification class that we had to do. But we try not to have Sam go to any of the stuff unless she has to go. She should not have to go until she's ready to graduate from Sierra, because the graduation does require the attendance of one of their national conferences after she's completed the 12 courses that are required to obtain that certification. Now, I'm on the state board for the Registrar of Voters Association and on the legislative committee, and I do go down to Baton Rouge regularly to attend and testify before the legislature about changes to election laws and things like that. So that's another good portion of the travel budget that we request.
Okay, so 2 of you will be required to go to
Yes,
one
sir.
convention.
Yes, sir.
The rest of it is basically just,
The cost of the courses is quite expensive for her to obtain that certification.
okay.
Here you go.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay.
Moving to the finance and governmental. For the salaries, we have a 3% COLA budgeted in here. You see that big, that change for 12%. Just want to remind everybody, we have an additional employee this year. The nuisance abatement officer was filled back in July. So that's why you see a variance difference in there. Legend, that is one of the benefits that we do for our employees. I'm just going up from 45,000 to 64,000. On this particular election that the employee makes, they can go and change constantly. They don't have just an open enrollment type thing, so it's just hard to budget on that. So I'm basing my 64,000, basing that off of what we project to be at the end of this year. Professional fees, you can see a deduction by 50,000 from 350 to 300,000. Technology expense, we did bump that from 86 to 90, and then you see that we're over budget for the year. We'll do some line item adjustments, but this is for the fact that we have some overlapping softwares that are happening right now. My goal was to go live in every module that we had. It just hasn't happened, so we do have some overlapping softwares that we're still using some old software and have the new one. So that's the reason for that increase. Another thing you see here is the uniforms. Currently, we book everything to the office expense. I'm just making a line item for the uniforms. Small equipment purchases, 30,000, moving that to 35,000. We have some computers that will be needing some replacements and monitors and such. Travel, 25,000, projected to be at the end of the year at 37,000. Some of this is going to be reimbursed by the Brownsville grant. The grant administrator and the parish administrator went to convention to Chicago, so we are in the process of getting that money back as a reimbursement expense. For next year, we budgeted $26,000. However, I am putting a line item for the fuel. Currently, the fuel right now sometimes comes out of that travel expense. And this is the fuel that is used by our employees that work in the administration for their currently everyday use that they come and go, except for our engineer, tech, and people that are out in the field. Out of that is pretty much the only thing I wanted to point out. Does anybody have questions on that specific line item?
Yes, ma'am, on that fuel cost, do we pay for fuel when all these people on these boards, different boards and stuff, and making these trips? Does that cost the parish?
Say it again, Ms. Burrell. I didn't quite understand what your question was.
Okay, like they serving on these different boards, like Sabine River Authority, different boards they serving
No,
on.
ma'am. As far as,
If they going in our vehicles, we
well, I mean, if they're using a parish vehicle, that it's a take-home vehicle that they're using, I mean, they are putting gas. But I don't know if anything that is not jury-related. I know Mr. Norton's probably
I
fixing
can
to
answer
answer
that.
that.
The Sabine River Authority pays me a per diem, and I take my personal vehicle, and I take personal time to go do that. That has nothing to do with jury operations.
I said.
You said Sabine River Authority. I was just addressing
For
that.
instance, Sabine River Authority,
Right.
because I know that's one of the boards y'all serve on, but the vehicle have went down there.
My vehicle's never gone to the Sabine River
So,
Authority.
you do go to some meetings for the different boards.
Well, sure, the boards that I serve in Shreveport, the other boards that y'all have appointed me
Okay,
to,
well,
but Sabine
that-
River Authority was not appointed by the jury. That was appointed by the governor's office.
Yeah, I know.
And I serve at his pleasure as a constituent of DeSoto Parish, for which I'm reimbursed mileage for my personal vehicle.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Norton.
Any other questions before I move to the next section? The other section is other governmental. This is your maintenance building department. Salaries, of course, include a 3% COLA. Their fleet lease expense. I'm sorry, let me go back up. The professional fees, we're dropping down from $10,000 to $5,000. The lease expense, we budgeted $12,000 this year, going up to $20,000. This is to accommodate, we have the inmate crew has a lease vehicle that we're paying for. I was told last year the sheriff will be providing that vehicle. It still may happen. I just don't know the timing for that yet. So that's the reason for that increase. Building and maintenance, we're lowering that by $50,000 from $350,000 to $300,000. That's about all on that portion. Like I said, you go down there and you'll see the environmental protection. That's environmental assessment and cleanup planning. We got the grant for the 1.2. We'll be sending a packet out for bid proposals on selecting a company for that here in the next few weeks. Any questions on this particular section? Your cultural and recreation section, the only thing I want to point out is the alumni park. We're increasing our budget from $22,000 to $27,000. That is to incorporate some video cameras out there in order to keep an eye on that splash pad. Same thing with Hoopla Park expenses, $3,500 to incorporate a video camera out there for the playground equipment and the basketball court. Under health and welfare, the grants, Council on Aging, just want to point out the variance of this year's budget was $286,712. For next year, it's $132,232. This year, they had a grant for a bus vehicle that they were gonna purchase and get reimbursed. Next year, they're just dropping back to their transportation program as they have in the past. Handicap ramps, $44,000 this year. I think y'all all got an email from Mr. Norton that we were increasing this to $77,000. This is to incorporate 22 ramps at an average cost of $3,500 each. Any questions on that before I move? Okay. Your community development, the professional fees industrial park, we're dropping that to from $12,000 to $2,000. However, if you go down to the maintenance of the industrial park, we budgeted $6,000 this year. We're bumping that to $16,000. That's where you see the difference. We're just kind of swapping line items on that. There's been lots of repairs out there, so hopefully we'll spend less money next year on fixing those. And this is the lift stations that this money is being spent on. You see the maintenance of building for the 4-H building. We're dropping that about $10,000 from 40 to 30. And then the grants for the non-governmental. As you can see, there's nothing in there for 2026. Last year, the way we've been doing this is we'll go through the list at the end, and y'all will decide how much each agency gets or doesn't get, and then I will plug in that number when we go ahead and propose the total budget to the whole jury. Any questions on this before we move to capital outlay? Okay. For the capital outlay, for equipment and vehicles, we have $15,500. If you turn your page to that particular section of the budget, it's $7,500 is for the conference room equipment. This is to be able to upgrade the conference room out there so we can host Zoom meetings and stuff like that, training courses that we've been doing more often. So that's estimated to be $7,500. The Register of Voters is asking for a Text My Gov. It's an app that, again, I will ask Amanda to come up and explain a little bit more of what that is. It's $8,000 for the first year, and there's $5,000 recurring expense for 3 years. But if you have questions on what that is, like I said, I'll let her explain exactly what that is.
Yes, ma'am.
So we were contemplating doing a website for our office to try to have more output to the public for advertising elections and outreach and things like that. And we saw this Text MyGov at one of the conferences we were at. And basically it allows for, we can post QR codes all around the parish or whatever, and it allows for people to scan the QR code and sign up to receive text notifications or email notifications from our office, and just being able to send out graphics. Early voting starts today. These are the locations, places to reach people that are different than Facebook or the newspaper, just because not everyone does those things, but everyone has a cell phone. And we thought that would be a more wise expenditure of our money instead of asking for a website, because people actually have to go to the website to find it, whereas if they get a text, they'll click on it and open it. It also allows me to have separate groups where, like, I can put my early voting commissioners in a group and send out a notification to all of them for, you know, whatever the schedule is going to be or things like that. It's kind of limitless on the amount of ways you can manipulate it and use it. And, you know, it's something that any one of us could use. You can have any different distribution groups in it. And then we can make all of our graphics and everything in-house with my confidential assistant doing all that stuff. So we just thought, instead of asking for a website, this might be a more widely spread way to reach the public, to try to get some of our participation up in our elections. So.
Okay. Moving outside the equipment and vehicles for capital outlay. And this is for projects, as far as roofs, improvements to other facilities. $2,444,586. If you look at the page, that will tell you, I think it's, at the very top is the 4-H building. There's that air conditioning unit to be replaced, estimated to be $50,000. The fire alarm panel replacement at the courthouse for $9,000. The chiller compressor replacement at the courthouse, $18,166. Roof replacement for the DA office and judge's office, $60,000. Renovations to the floor and some awnings at the DCFS, which is the Child Services Building, $23,400. Stanley polling location, some renovations there for $60,000. This will be covered by the LGAP grant for 2026. Sports complex, you have in here leveling infields and new field lighting at all the fields for $217,000. Leveling of the infields, it's about $30,000, and then for the lighting, it's about $188,000. Just be aware that Wednesday, talk to Brian, our grant writer, and we're in talks with Foster Campbell's office. I remember from my time doing other stuff that there's some grants available for LED lighting out there for parks and such. So it looks promising that there may be a grant out there to help offset some of this cost. We're in talks with them. The grant is actually like in the stages of being open to you can submit paperwork. So we already sent them the plans for the fields and what type of lights and all that, and it's looking promising that we may be able to get that grant. But like I said, all in all for that is $217,000. KCS sewer project, that we had that bid, and that came way under budget. Project cost is $320,020. $225,000 of that is the LGAF for this year, and then Ms. Burrell had $100,000 from her ARPA. The boiler system for the courthouse, this has been on our books. We had budgeted $200,000 for this year. We took the time, got an engineer to do some planning and some work. They're estimating that to be $350,000. Then you have the 4-H building, the cover arena. Don't necessarily have a estimate on the project cost. This $1,100,000 is really what we have allocated in funds. At the bottom of the sheet, you can see what makes up those funds. We have $50,000 from the Equinite grant. We have the state grant, Act 461 for $125,000. The ET gathering pilot for $100,000. Expand Energy $50,000, and then DeSoto Tourism $50,000, and then the rest is from police jury funds. Then we have the DeSoto Courthouse basement first floor renovations and some ADA modifications for $87,000. And then Stonewall Park splash pad for $150,000. So that is what the capital projects are. Does anybody have questions on that?
Yes, ma'am. How much you say I had for KCS out of my ARPA money? Cause it should have been
$100,000.
Didn't we have more than 100,000 when we started?
No,
out?
ma'am. No, you had $100,000 for that. Now, you had $100,000 for that, and the police jury had contributed some money to fund it. But if you recall, last year we decided, let's see if we can get the LGAP grant, and we did, and we got a substantial amount of $225,000. So that plus your 100, it's 325,000. And then when we actually bid it out, it came way under what we expected it to be.
Okay, so we got opera money how many times? Twice, right?
Those big checks that we
The-
gave every jury, we got those once.
Yeah,
And then at one time,
it was
There's a-
premium pay or
yeah, and
something.
it wasn't very, it was under 10,000
Yeah.
apiece.
But I remember it was in 2023, I believe, that everybody got about 100,000 that y'all could do whatever was within the terms of the ARPA money. And I think everybody pretty much spent their money. You were the only one that was still had obligated of 100 grand to go to this project.
I thought it was more than 100,000 though.
Yeah, now everybody got 100,000 that year, except for I think Mr. Ernell. We did some stuff with him to give him for his splash pad, something a little different. But we had $1 million, and then it was split it about 100 grand each.
What, I didn't get all my money?
We gave you the money with a splash pad. Anybody else have questions on the capital outlay? The next section is just your transfers out. You have OCS for 120,000, animal services 662,000. The transfer to the self-insurance 756,392, and then transfer to the road for 500,000. All in all, were able to decrease the operation part of it by 9%, in order to kind of bring you, the increase as far as the COLA. We did sit with the departments and try to do our best to cut on some stuff that we were all kind of okay with. Yes, we can make this work. But our fund balance at the end of 2026 is estimated to be $11,483,211. Now, if you go into the non-governmental grants, like I said, it is not in your budget at all right now. We're at the point that you can tell me which ones we want to fund, which ones we don't want to fund, or however you want to do this, but you have the list here. You got Logan Sport Chamber of Commerce for 2,000, Green the Church for 1,500, Mansfield Civic Group 5,000, Melbourne Porter Foundation 4,550. Multicultural Center for Summer Recreation, 15,000. For their operations, 25,000. DeSoto Habilitation, 45,000. DeSoto Habilitation. They deal with providing some help with special needs people. They have like computers and other type of stuff set up for them so they can get some training and stuff, but it deals with special needs people.
Job placements for special needs personnel.
Next you have the fire district for the fireworks, 4,000. River City Festival, asking for 10,000. Crew of Aquarius, 4,000.
I mean, that is a pagan festival. So why would taxpayers be funding? It's just.
Good question.
Yes, ma'am. Some of this, we do what we call the Cabela's test, and what it's supposed to be doing, it's bringing in tourism to the area, which in turn, they go out to eat to different restaurants and so forth, and that helps. Just DeSoto has a hold with tourism. You got the Logan Sports Festival, Christmas Festival for 15,000. Stonewall Christmas Parade, they did not submit an application in time. And she didn't send anything else. She was, okay with saying, yeah, okay, next year. I was late. Juneteenth celebration, 20,000.
They've gone up, they're asking double.
Yes, ma'am. And like I said, I think the committee will probably, they'll guide me on what we need to do. Right now, I'm just, for the public's sake, I'm calling out what each of these entities asks for. DeSoto Soil and Water Conservation, 20,000. Battle of Pleasant Hill, they did not turn anything in. City of Mansfield Christmas Festival, 5,000. City of Mansfield Fire Department Equipment, 50,000. DeSoto Bible Charity, KCS Community Center, 10,000. And Crew of Demeter was one that was late in submitting that paperwork. I had them submit a late paperwork past the deadline, and then Keachai Water Systems also submitted a late submittal, so they're not on your list. So at this time, like I said, I'll take guidance from y'all on whether to put the whole amount in the budget, not put anything at all, or however you want to go forward with.
I have a couple of questions on this. You're showing the 2025 request over in one column. The middle column, you're showing the 2025 approved.
Yes, sir.
I didn't think we approved all of this. I thought we voted to give each one the same amount and we limited it to a certain amount. Also, you're not showing anything for the City of Mansfield Fire Department equipment. We gave them almost $60,000 last year.
We did in 2024. It was at the very end of 2024 that we gave them that check
Who's that?
for the City of Mansfield.
Then it should be listed on there.
I just listed what we had this year for 2025. That contribution that we made to the City of Mansfield happened in 2024. Now, as far as their requests in 2025, we went line item by line item. Let's see. There was some that had requested a completely, different amounts, and Mr. Ross made a motion that let's go ahead and not give any more than 5,000. But then the ones that had requested, like district fireworks, 2,500, they left those alone. It was people that requested above the 5,000 that got slashed to 5.
I know for a fact, we gave the City of Mansfield almost $60,000 last year, sometime or another during the year. Because I made a motion that if
We
we're gonna give
did,
it.
sir. We did,
Okay, then why is it not showing on here?
because we gave that to them in 2024. We did not give anything in 2025. I can give you a copy of that information.
Okay? So we limited everything to a certain amount. Why are we showing these as being approved at $18,000, $15,000, $40,000?
That was what they gave was the motion Mr. Ross made was dealing with the festivals.
I thought the motion Mr. Ross made was for anyone that requested money.
No, sir. You can go back and like I said, or I can give you the minutes on that, but
Okay?
yeah, we voted line by line last year, and the 5,000, the motion was read has any type of festivals and such. But multicultural stayed the same, the DeSoto Habilitation had stayed the same, and then the Water Conservation District was the 20,000. Then everything else, you do see the
I have a
5,000.
problem with DeSoto Soil and Water Conservation District. You know, they get federal funding, so I don't see why we should be funding them anything. And also, I want to see a copy of the line-by-line item that we voted on, because I don't recall that.
Okay.
That's the way it was, though. She
Well,
right.
We'll find out. She may be. She probably is.
She
But I just
right.
want to see it.
That's how it was.
And ma'am, what is
They are requesting money for a new truck and an excavator.
And how much money?
The truck itself, give me a second. Now, they're not included at all because their request came in late, and y'all did a resolution early this year that anything after September 30 was the deadline.
Because they've gone up double on our water anyway.
Yes, ma'am.
The water hasn't gone up yet.
Supposed to go
It will as the first of the year, but that's just to maintain the system.
Yeah.
Because everything's gone up, all chlorination and everything. But
My
we have
social
to have,
security check hasn't gone up.
well, actually, they do go up every year.
Yes, ma'am. It's 55,300 for the excavator they're requesting, and then 59,149 for a purchase of a 2026 truck, Silverado truck. But the reason they're not listed at all on the sheet is because they came in late. Well, Mr. Baker, I'll
How do y'all
refer.
wanna, my committee of three, how do y'all wanna do? You wanna go down the line and decide, or you wanna make a flat price and say that's all we're gonna give?
I say we make a flat price, non-governmental grants be the same for everybody.
Everybody needs are different. That's me. Everybody needs are different. That's why they ask for what they ask for. So, you know, if we have it to give it to them, you know, like I say, they're taxpayers just like we are, and it's our job, you know, to help with the public. So,
What about the ones that are out of the parish?
sir,
What about the ones not located in the parish?
like which one?
You have the green, the church. That's a church out in Shreveport. And you got the Melbourne Porter Foundation. They're out of Shreveport.
Golly.
Now, what they're proposing is to come do some activities here in DeSoto Parish, but they are located in Shreveport. And like I told Mr. Baker before, some of these agencies have overlapping services or stuff they want to do in the community that somebody else is already doing. Like the Melbourne Foundation, for example, I think they want to do some summer camp activities. We have the multicultural summer program that they have. We have the DeSoto Bible Charity that does some summer stuff. Green the Church, they want to do a fall festival. So we do have some agencies here in DeSoto that already provide some kind of activity for the youth, for the public. So those two agencies are located in Shreveport.
Kind of, like I said, I'm not familiar with those agencies. Like Mr. Baker, we had like we would help. What was it? Place in Southport, because it serviced the DeSoto Parish residents. Remember, we gave money to them. It serviced the DeSoto Parish residents. So are they not servicing the DeSoto Parish residents?
Well, they're letting you know in the letter that they will be doing services for DeSoto residents. My point on this regard is that you have other agencies already asking for funds in this list that are located here, and they're providing, it's almost like you're overlapping the same services.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel DeSoto residents, they should come first before everybody, because they are taxpayers.
I don't know, so she said it's these two? So these two are out of Shreveport?
Before we give grants to anybody out of the parish, we need to be taking care of our own.
Mr. Baker, I know I'm not on your committee, but I would like to see y'all go through them one by one. Just like Mr. Fuller said, they all have different needs. It's kind of hard to address those needs as individuals if we group them all together.
Where's that?
I can go through them one by one.
Because I mean, I
Ain't got no
mean, I'm not on the committee, but I don't think we can afford this as asked.
Well, it's gonna come before the full jury still,
Yeah, but I mean,
so,
I'd like to,
you know.
But we can knock it down before the full jury gets it, then make the full jury have to raise it back up.
That may be a little harder to do.
Yeah.
Kickapoo, but this isn't Kickapoo.
Y'all wanna just go through this line by line real quick?
Okay.
Say yes or no?
But let's do it, I gotta have a majority yes or no, yeah. The Logan Sport Chamber of Commerce for $2,000.
Yes.
Yes.
That's two yeses. The Green to Church,
Yes. That's one of my constituents. The church, that's just what the name of the festival for, I'm understanding. Like I said, the church is in Holly. It's in my area.
Oh, that's that church on,
Bruce Carroll's here, St. Mark.
Church,
St.
where's
Mark's
this
Church.
entity?
oh, yeah, okay,
That's the
yeah.
letter. I want to make sure.
That's the thing, on the request, and everybody got a copy of this letter, by the way. There is no address on this letter. When I looked it up online, it gives me a Shreveport address. When I look up the Secretary of State, it gives me a Shreveport address.
But
Is that where he lives? Does he live in?
He
That's
lives in
where he
DeSoto. He's
live
my
in
constituent.
Shreveport,
He lives in
but
my area.
that church,
His
he
church
right,
is in
'cause
DeSoto
I done
Parish.
been there
His church.
several
They're
times.
doing the festival there.
You do really care, and yeah. They just did one in October, for a matter of fact.
They're in DeSoto Parish. Why they use that address, I don't know, but the festival will be done at St. Mark Baptist Church on General Circle.
And I get that all the requests say they're gonna do something here in DeSoto Parish. Okay, the requests do say that. My whole point with that was that we do have other entities that they're all seem to be having festivals of some sort that they are providing.
Okay, again, these are our constituents.
I understand, Mr. Fuller, and I'm just pointing out, like I said, that the request I got doesn't even give me an address or a person's name. It's not even signed.
Yes, sir.
So I just gotta go by the information I
I'm just
received.
getting clarity, that festival will be done in DeSoto Parish, in Holly, Louisiana.
He lives in DeSoto Parish.
He lives in.
Personally, the way I look at
Say
it,
this, cause this particular
pastors in
church,
Shreveport.
cause I had him say, I went up there several occasions. It's more for the people in that Holly area along with Gloucester, Friesen, people like that. It service more of those people than it does here in Mansfield, which some of these groups service them. So I'm gonna have to agree with Mr. Fuller, cause they do service an area that's outreach more like in that area versus this area.
you know, it's funny, we've gotten this list here, and it seems like everybody in the parish is just getting, to where they depend on us to support everything they're doing. But the bad thing about it is we've got churches now that are coming to us for charity. These churches don't have members that can give to this, to put these things on. If the church can't put it on, then by God, don't put it on. If you can't afford to sponsor something, don't do it. If your members aren't willing to give to it, don't do it. You know? Now we've got our churches coming up here asking for money. You know, we've got everybody on the till now, you know, asking for money.
It's okay, Mr. Holmes, it really is.
Yeah, I know it is. How many churches we have in the parish? You know, what if every one of them comes up here and wants $1,500 or
well, you know,
$10,000?
it's almost
whatever?
twice what it was last year.
You know, I just
and
feel
and
like
I
the
don't-
churches
I could care less about.
ought to
prices
take care of
and-
themselves. They've got members, and the members that want to sponsor this should be sponsoring it.
You could care less that
Yes,
the
I say it again. I could
total
care less
request-
about it being twice as much.
We
as it
didn't
was
bring
last
in
year.
twice as
The
much
we
money
give
this
away,
year.
The other things, the money we lose, the money we throw away. So I believe in helping people. You may not, but I do. I believe in helping people. And that's what my constituent put me here to help the public.
this is not the only thing that we do to
Okay.
help people.
It's okay. Vote no for it if that's what you want. That's what
If
you
we
want.
did everything we were supposed to do, we'd be helping the public. If we were fixing roads with this money, we'd be helping the public. If we were doing the things that we need to, like keeping up the courthouse, we'd be helping the public. Everything we do helps the public,
There are a lot of ways to help. The
but it's
public,
doing
Mr.
it the
Holmes.
way the taxpayers want you to do it. They didn't vote for all this.
Well, Mr. Holmes,
I
just say your
mean-
taxpayers then, mine did.
I mean, Mr. Holmes.
Yeah, I know yours
I
did.
look at it like this. What's good for the goose, good for the gander. If we can do it for the 4-H'ers, we can do it for
Hey, you don't- you
these
don't broke
folks
that
here.
down now, time.
Cause, I mean, come on, y'all talking about how much they talking about investing in that? $200-some thousand.
They put 400,000 on the roof.
Ballpark,
Every
same
child
thing.
in
Them
DeSoto Parish
nonprofits just
that's
like.
in school can join that 4-H. None of them have been pushed away. None of them have been declined. Every one of them have a right to join the 4-H and be a part of
the
that.
same thing about these organizations here. Ain't nobody pushing nobody away with
From
them.
them either.
They just, it's the same thing. My thing is non-profit to me is a non-profit, whether it's the 4-H or the alumni, whether it's the Juneteenth, a non-profit is a non-profit. And if we gonna invest money into non-profits, let's be fair. And that's all I'm gonna say about it. Let's be fair about them all.
Got a problem with 4-H's. Not one word, you say, vote against it.
All right.
Okay, Mr. Baker, I'm sorry.
Yes or no on the green to church? What's my vote?
You say on the green?
Yes.
Yes, yes, I say yes.
You gonna vote on that, Mr. Fuller? I thought you were on that board. You should not get a vote.
Say again?
Aren't you on that board, the Green the Church board?
Am I on it?
Yes.
Not that I know
I thought you were listed on that thing that I
of. You
got.
did.
Your name was on there.
Yeah, can you put it up and show it to me? Because I'd like to see it.
Okay.
Bubba, how do you
On my own
vote?
church board, let it on somebody else's.
No.
No? I vote no.
You just got your.
Mansfield Civic Group,
Vote against that. All right, Bubba.
the Mansfield Civic Group,
I can't believe that, Bubba. On the multi-coach, yes.
Bubba, on Mansfield Civic Group.
It might help if we knew what they were planning on doing. What did they apply for? I know we got it at the house, but I didn't bring it with me.
Let me read. Okay, the goal of the Mansfield Civic Group is to continue to provide services to the community of DeSoto through events such as the Breast Cancer Awareness, Annual Christmas Parade and Decorations, Annual Back to School Drive, and etc. Budget includes funds for events, venues, decoration, breast cancer awareness, back to school events.
Yes.
Yes. The Melvin, that one passed. The Melvin Porter Foundation,
Yes.
We don't even know what that one is.
What's that?
This one out of Shreveport?
Yeah, I think that's the one located out of Parish.
He's doing the thing at Kickapoo's church, at Canaan Baptist Church, right there in Kickapoo. Mr. Holmes there. Is that your area, Mr. Holmes?
Yes, it is.
That's who's doing that particular program there. That's where he's doing it, at that church.
What is he doing, Mr. Fuller?
Sir,
What does he do? What do he do? What the program does?
can you read it to him? Go see it, please.
Yes, it is, they're requesting a budget of $44,550. It's, to do their Resurrection Weekend Community Fair, Saturday Success Academy, February and March, Summer Youth Camp 1 week, Christmas Noble Behavior Celebration.
I think those are church activities, should be paid for by the church. I vote no. Mr. Fuller,
I already voted yes on that.
Mr. Clark,
I agree with you, Mr. Baker. No.
Multicultural Center Summer Recreation Program, they're asking for 15,000 this year. Last year they got 18.
I say yes.
Suggest we cut that down to 5.
Sir? No, they came in and asked for money afterwards, I believe, and we gave them the money.
Yes at 15?
I would vote. This is the longest running deal in this parish,
Yep.
so.
And it serves a lot of kids that they take off the streets, and trust me, you want them off the streets.
So I got 3 yeses on that one. The Multicultural Center, their operation. They made it last year. I won't approve their 25. I'll give them a lesser amount. I won't give them, I won't vote for the 25.
So what amount?
He's-
I give them what we gave them last year at 15.
Good with that?
I agree.
You good? We agree to give them the 15. DeSoto Habilitation,
Yes.
What was the increase for that? Reason for?
just because they could. You heard anything on that, now? You used to do a little bit with that.
Miss Trina's on that board, but
Oh, yeah, remember that, these are the,
Well, I know what it is. It helps the handicap or the
And the
elder
elderly.
adults that
Elderly.
need help.
Last time.
pretty much give them some activities to do.
There was one year we did that, yes.
Ms. Trina there, but,
okay.
hope we support that.
The way I'm looking here based on what I think she told me last time, it's fixing their vans and insurance. They have a budget of 35,000. Repair floors 1,700. Outside furniture 1,200. Painting the easel sets, crafts and stuff 1,300. Wall oven $1,099, washer and dryer $998, security camera to be installed for the safety of the participants $1,600, interactive whiteboard and projector $1,750. I think the major increase is probably due to repairs to their vehicles and stuff.
Give them the whole amount?
Yeah.
Yeah. That one passes. Soda Fire District 1, Association Fireworks. I give them what we gave them last year. Huh?
What we gave him last?
$2,500.
So, no.
Them fireworks is expensive though now.
Well, they can,
Yeah.
People that furnish the fireworks,
y'all okay with 2,500? We got 2 head shaking over there. We'll go with that.
2,500.
Yes. River City Fest, Town of Logansport. I think people just ask for this just 'cause they think they can, but I'm not giving them $10,000.
That'd be,
5,000?
Yep.
Or none. But I can none it too.
See?
So 5,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Crew Aquarius, I just got a thing about this cruise. How many cruises there this time? One, just one?
Just one. One didn't get it in time.
it's a social thing, isn't it? That's
Let
pretty much
me
a
ask
social
something about the
thing.
ones that
Yeah, that's
didn't
not
get it on
helping
time.
anybody.
We ain't gonna try to
People want a part of it.
They
incorporate
don't watch
them
TV.
Yeah.
No, ma'am.
or nothing.
Based on the resolution y'all passed, we can't. Y'all would have to do that.
You know, they've been told that it's September the 30th for every year for whatever, and we finally made the rule that it is September the 30th. Get your request by September the 30th, and we'll take it under advisement. If you can't make the date, then you don't need the money.
I think Ms. Lily's done work to reach out that she shouldn't have to do and make sure people try to get it in.
Send them letters requesting for them to turn the information in, and they still don't do it, so they must not need the money. How much you want to give the crew, whatever, Aquarius?
Nothing. Zero.
Uh-oh.
What is
Ooh.
that?
What do you two fellas say?
No.
Don't you like being on my board?
You say it's not a DeSoto Parish thing?
Sir?
You say it's not a DeSoto Parish thing, so.
Oh, it is.
Well,
It is.
the
It's
crew
a
is a
bunch.
DeSoto Parish crew. I don't know, is this a crew that operates out of Logansport or one that operates in Mansfield?
Logansport.
Logansport,
No,
I'd say 3,500 what they got.
okay. What do you say, Richard?
I'm good.
We'll go with 3,500. Logansport Christmas Festival,
Not 15,
huh?
not 15.
It's your place where you represent. I can easily give them the 2,500, but you want to do more, whatever.
25 is good.
That's amazing, like, you keep paying pricey for that, but you killed ours. That's amazing. And y'all got 5 things on here.
Not all of them.
wait a minute, hold up now.
$2,500 for Logansport
Wait,
Christmas
Mr. Mayor.
Festival.
Yes, sir. I don't do what other folks do.
Town of Stonewall Christmas Festival, the lady understands she didn't get turned in time, and she said she could handle it. Juneteenth celebration. They want 20 this year. Last year they asked for 40, they got 5. This year they're asking for 20.
See, Ms. Fuller.
They got 20 on there. I'm good with what's on there.
With the 20? I'm better with the 5. What we want to do?
Same as last year.
I can go with the same as last year, but not no 20. I got 2 5s. Richard got to stay with what's written. 2 5s has got it. We'll go with 5,000. DeSoto Soil and Water Conservation District. What all do they do with this $20,000?
It's to fund their operations, especially it's mostly for a part-time position that they have out there.
What they do?
Miss Burrell, I would have to probably read the letter because I couldn't tell you what they,
What this person do?
Yeah, I think they do a bunch of environmental
They
soil
do.
testing for the parish.
They work with farmers, landowners, erosion control, real ponds, things like that, fences.
It's a good thing, Mr. Holmes, what you saying?
Huh?
You saying it's a good thing?
I say it's a good thing, but it's funded by the federal government. I don't understand why we should be funding anything.
Oh, well, if it's.
yeah, but basically they're asking to keep their full-time secretary and part-time district technician employed.
Their full-time secretary is paid for, is funded. They wouldn't have her otherwise.
Just reading what the letters.
I understand what you're reading. They're putting a lot in there to make it sound like, oh, we gotta have this money.
I understand, sir.
How many years have we done this?
I think y'all stopped. I think y'all were doing it before COVID, and then I've been here since 2022. We didn't do it 2022. We didn't do it 23. we didn't do it 2024. This
Yeah,
is,
yeah,
this
yeah,
is,
we have. They've been doing that since I've
no,
been
I
here.
understand. I'm saying y'all used to do it every year prior to COVID, and then they stopped. And then we picked again in last year, or this year, 2025 is the first time that I have dealt with it. But in the past, I don't know how many years prior to the COVID that, yeah, I think it was done yearly.
Helps the farmers. We've done it for forever. You all right with it, Richard?
I mean, like I'm like Ms. Tom, if they get money from the state, you know, I mean, federal government.
Yes or no?
Are they gonna lose these jobs if they don't get this funding from us?
I doubt it.
No, this little.
I couldn't tell you yes or no on that.
I can't, can't see 'em.
Can we do this a little later on till we, can we do that one later on until we find out all the specifics of?
That job?
They're funded by the federal government, right?
Huh?
They're funded by the federal government?
What Mr. Holmes said?
Mrs. Howard said they are.
Funded by the federal government. The federal government gets monies to, you have to apply for, the projects that you want. The federal government funds it, the federal government funds that office over there. Yes, it does.
Can we,
I can go either way myself.
I don't have enough information on it, you know, to, you know, say they don't need it right now, that's all. I mean, if it's a good program, like I say, but like I said, if the federal, I mean, I know federal government funds have been cut on some things, so I don't.
It's similar to the 4-H agent. It's funded by the state, Louisiana Department of Agriculture. This is funded by the USDA, United States Department of Agriculture.
That's federal government though.
Bubba, what do you say? You reading an awful lot on that phone.
I know, I'm reading the letter. I say no.
That one's a no this year. We'll see what happens.
What'd you say, Mr. Baker?
Huh? I said no.
Okay.
This year.
Battle, we don't have the Battle of Pleasant Hill. The City of Mansfield Christmas Festival, $5,000. That's what they got last year.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. City of Mansfield Fire Department equipment, $50,000.
Yes.
No.
No. DeSoto Bible Charity KCS Community Center, they're asking for 10. Last year it was 5.
Yes.
I'm good with 5.
I'm good with 5. Don't have nothing on the crew to mentor. So that finishes that story.
Oh,
What, ma'am?
yeah, y'all say we
Now-
have to do that. I'm just concerned about these people. that need
This
to-
comes up again before the full jury. You gotta do is make a motion to change anything on this budget when it gets to the full jury.
Well, I'm gonna pray about that, cause I'm concerned about these people that need help, like teach our water.
And we,
You know,
if you don't mind me speaking on behalf of Teach Our Water Service, I'm on the board. We got elected on September 16th, and we placed our officers on September the 18th. We were just behind the gun trying to get something in. We realized how far behind the Teach Our Water system was. We are in dire need. We are not-for-profit. Yes, we are increasing the rates, but we have to. We found out when we got in there, we had a bunch of unpaid bills and no funds in the bank to pay. I had chlorination trucks that were refusing to deliver unless I wrote them a $7,000 check. We are in dire need. This is, like I said, we're not for profit. We are trying as fast as we can to get this thing above water. still not, we're barely able to pay the bills. The bills are behind in lots of places.
And get it, they don't come to me.
I'm so sorry.
Dig a well.
It could be line item for the full jury to take it up.
What's the, now I'm reading them because so concerned. Is them the same people we just in the last meeting that, Mr. Adams was in here asking us to
Yes, ma'am.
help him?
Yes, ma'am.
He, yeah, said they were filing a lawsuit, against, possibly that, internet fiber optics people.
Well, that's what I'm saying, 'cause that might be part of
You said,
is part of
Ms.
the
Bison,
they problem.
you mentioned that y'all were going up on your water rates. I talked to Mr. Crocker about that, and I even told him, I said, it looks to me like you need to go up on your water rates. How much did you decide to go up on the water rates?
The base rate right now is $20 for the first 2,000 gallons, and most houses don't use that much. We are going up to $40. So yes, it sounds like a lot, but it's really not a lot of money that we're going up per household. That goes into effect in January of next year. And that will help, but these rates have been put off for too long. Everything else has gone up so much, and as far as getting a truck, we didn't have a tractor, the tractor was broken down. It cost us $300 an hour to hire a contractor to come in to do the work that we need to have done. And of course, a lot of that with the SWIFT fiber coming in and breaking all of our lines, it cost us a tremendous amount of money. And I'll just tell y'all, everybody pays that $1 Safe Drinking Water Act every month on your bill. Every quarter, the state expects us to send that money in. It's about $3,500 for the Keachai and Great Cane combined. We're over $20,000 behind. That's what we adopted, because those allocated funds were not sent in. Why, I don't know, I haven't gotten to the bottom of it, but we're in dire shape. And I think probably about 7 of y'all, we cover your constituents. Peachai, Gloucester, Shiloh, Grand Cane, Kickapoo, Long Street.
The allocated funds you were talking about had not been collected. Are they in the process of being?
They
Huh?
were collected.
You have collected.
They just didn't, they
No,
just weren't
no,
paid.
they were collected, but they were never sent
They
to the
sent
state
down
of
south.
Louisiana.
Oh.
So now we're playing catch-up.
And your new rates are going to affect January?
January.
So another $30,000 increase every month,
Yeah,
basically, with about 1,500 meters?
yes, I think it's 1485.
Y'all get any grants for providing to keep up your facilities?
So the reason that they combined the Grand Cane and the Keachai is in order for us to get a grant, we just got like a $10 million grant. And that's giving us new wells. I think it's 5 different new wells. We've got new pump stations going into effect. Everything that has to do with the system, we are getting upgraded. But the expectation with that grant is that we maintain those systems. And right now, we're running with 2 trucks. One of them is the transmission is about to go out. We still owe a year on that. Now, keep in mind, we've adopted this. I've put in place systems for these guys to make sure these trucks have inspection stickers, maintenance on having the oil change, checking the tires. They just will run ragged. This is what we've adopted. We have 2 trucks right now. One's a little Ford Ranger and one is a Chevrolet. Like I said, we still owe a year on that one, and the transmission is about to go out. And we've got to run meters. We've got to keep all the systems up to date. We've got to check our plants on a daily basis. These are needs. They're not something luxuries that we want. These are needs. And these are, like I said, we're not for profit. I don't get paid a dime to go up there and work every single day. I volunteer to do it, which I have no problem with that. But water is a necessity. We've got to have it. We've got to be able to pay the chlorination. That runs us like $6,000 to $7,000 a month. Insurance is like $32,000 a year because we have to cover all the plants and everything. And then on top of that, we had to move our office to Grand Cane. And that's an additional cost.
Well, how much did that $10 million cover?
How much does it cover?
Yeah.
Well, we don't get that. That's money that's, the engineer's working on it, and as the contractors come in and do the work, they put in a pay request, and they put that money in the grant, and we pay it out to those contractors. We don't get anything from that.
So it's not to help with upkeep or?
It was
No,
to,
not for upkeep,
they
it's
put
for
in a
new
plan.
wells. Yeah, we get, I think there's 5 new wells being drilled and in the different pump stations that we have.
They
And
submitted a
upgrades
plan to get the grant, and they've got to use that money on that plan. That includes the 5 wells and.
Right. It goes, none of it goes
Yeah,
to.
you
to
got to
our-
be doing what it say.
Okay.
But we are expected
We
to
ain't got a
maintain that
running
system.
truck we could
And that's
donate.
why we're asking for the truck and a tractor. It was a big wish.
No, I don't think we do at this time, regrettably. I mean, off the top of my head, I don't think, I'd have to double check.
We ain't got no extra truck hanging around, no.
I'd have to look to see if we do, but, I mean, I don't think we do. We're turning fleet leases in all the time right now, so,
I just
I
wanna
can-
be
I can
able to
fi-
help them, cause I mean, like she say, there's a lot I'm be the first one, that's something I can stitch and I wanna take care of. And, you, ain't it, Mr. Hall? I
my
wanna
district,
make
yes.
sure these people taken care of, I mean, like she say, you got to have water. And,
And you want good water.
yep.
What's the total amount that, Miss Lily?
I haven't
For the water
totaled it
system?
yet.
Like $158,000, wasn't it?
No,
No, it's less than that. It's like 55 plus 59. What's that, April?
yeah, I think the truck,
114.
estimate for the truck was like 59,000 and change, and the tractor was
114? 114.
well, the totals for tonight, if y'all were to adopt this at the regular meeting, the 26 approved would be 99.5. So if you add the 114 back to it, you're still below what you originally started with, just for informational purposes.
But that's, to me, that's a real need and not a social event.
Yeah,
That's
what
the
I'm saying.
distinction I was trying to make earlier. That's a real need.
How many did you say that we,
You, ma'am, are you listed as a state agency?
I don't have an answer for you on that.
Can you buy off state contract? Well, I'm asking, or have you looked into that?
I have not.
Okay, you can get the truck a whole lot cheaper on state contract if you're able to get there. And plus, small excavators are also on state contract. So you need to look into that before we come up with a price to help fund you. I'm not saying we will, we won't. Matter of fact, I will make a motion to have it put before the whole jury on, what night are we meeting on that?
It's gonna be at the regular meeting Monday.
On Tuesday?
I think it's the second, isn't it?
Monday.
This coming Monday.
Just coming Monday,
Yes, sir.
to have that added to the budget when we approve the whole budget.
You, that's a need,
second.
yeah.
So I got a motion, and I make the motion, and
$1,000 worth of lights in
Mr.
Bible
Clark
for us,
seconds it
help
to
people
add it to
have
the
some
agenda
water.
during the budget approval process on next Monday night. If you would, though, please find out if you can order off a state contract. I don't know if you're listed as a state entity to be able to do that. You should be able to find that out because I'm sure you're listed with the Secretary of State. And that paperwork should show you. Yes, Richard.
Councilman, can we do it? I guess what I'm saying, I mean, if we're gonna give them the money for it, can we order off the state contract?
You guys want to know if we can buy
That way we know where the money
that is probably getting close to,
I mean, if we're gonna give them the money?
we're
mean,
giving
you
the
said we
money,
gonna get
but
off.
I don't know if we can buy the truck
I'm
off.
trying to ask the question, you know, trying to see, if they don't have that to get it at the cheaper price, could we do it? I mean, if we could find that out before next Monday's meeting.
Well, proposal we could do is, we could give them one of our older dated trucks that we own. I don't know how dated, I say we have vehicles, but I'd have to look at the list of vehicles, and then that could be replaced with another vehicle that we buy off a state contract and we use.
Correct. Yeah, we can do a
That's the best way to
donation.
do that.
You can do what?
A donation, like Mr. Norton's saying, donate, surplus a vehicle that we currently own and donate it to them.
They need
And
a-
then we
they need a
replace it.
truck They can pull a trailer with,
They need a truck.
What size truck,
Yeah, I mean,
what size truck are you looking at, ma'am?
2500 HD.
so they need a
You're
three-quarter
looking
ton.
for a 3/4 ton truck.
They can pull that Mini X.
Before the next meeting, let's see what we can dig up and see if we can lower that price some and, to make it a little bit more bearable for some people to say yes. I have no problem helping you, but I want to find the most economical way for us to help you and, see if we can help get you back on your feet. But we'll look at something between now and then and come up with some decision. We'll line item. We got a motion and I got a motion and a second. And are you in favor of, Richard, that we discuss this at the next meeting? So that will be on the agenda during the budget time. And, we'll see what information we can find out. I need a motion to approve the budget for the general fund.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Richard, Bubba, and me all say aye. Okay. Our next one is the road fund. If the next one takes an hour and a half, that means it will be 8 o'clock.
Oh,
And then we have
goodness.
one more after that. We could be 9:30. So let's see what we can do.
Okay, the beginning projected fund balance for the road fund is 13,599,458. Total revenues, 25,966,350. Capital, public works expenditures, 10,748,165, with capital outlay, 24,471,613. Transfer in proposed from the general fund for 500,000. Transfer out to fund the self-insurance, 760,000. This will be a net decrease to the fund balance of 9,513,428. Ending fund balance projected to be at $4,086,030. Your fourth month operating expense contingencies is estimated at $3,582,722. On the revenue portion, just note that the ad valorem taxes are down by about $276,656. Sales tax and use tax, a slightly decrease by about $200,000. And then your severance tax is a slight increase of $115,000. For the federal grants, you see instead of the $2 million, you see $3 million. $2 million is the EDA grant for I-49, or Industrial Park Road, I think is what we're calling it. And then you have $1 million from the LCDBG grant that is to do the Bird Streets. Any questions on the revenue side? We'll move into the expenditures. Salaries, we have proposed the 3% COLA. If you see on the salary portion of it, our original budget for 2025 was at $3,096,731. Just know that for 2025, we did not fund vacancies that we had at the end of 2024. This year, however, we do have 8 vacancies. We're only funding 2 of those. We're not funding 6 of those. So this is why you see a variance in the proposed budget. But we're proposing the $3,433,792. Again, that includes the 3% COLA plus step increases, plus we are funding a heavy equipment operator and a class driver that we have a vacancy currently. If you look further down on the contractor labors for the trucks, we decreased that by 100,000. The pug meal mix, we're decreasing that by 100,000. Spraying, based on discussions we had with the jury a while back, we decided to cut pretty much the whole spraying. We are leaving 100,000. Using it as in a need basis. Philip will coordinate if there are certain areas that he needs spraying for, but we're not doing the whole contract. So that is lowering the budget by 387,000. However, we are adding a patching line item for 250,000. The professional fees, we're increasing that by about 15,000. This is to allocate some money for professional fees to do some road ordinances for us and work on some of the other paperwork that needs to be looked at. However, we are decreasing the engineering fees from 90,000 to 60,000. The fleet lease expense, we pretty much cut that in half. This year was 150,000. Next year we're budgeting 72,000. And then your maintenance of equipment, dropping that to 700,000, so a decrease of 50,000. The maintenance of building and grounds, we're increasing that by 10,000 from 40 to 50. This is to replace some of the bay doors out at the road department. Gas and oil, we're decreasing that by 50,000 from 600 to 550. The uniforms, we're decreasing that from 20 to 10,000. And then your small equipment purchases, we had 15,000 for this year. We're asking for 40 for next year. This includes some radios, Motorola radios. They're about 2,500 a piece. So we're asking for, is it 10 radios, Philip? Yes, 10 radios. Your road and bridge material, 3.5 this year. We're decreasing that to 3 million. So overall, we're decreasing the operation about 320,000. So that's about 2.5 decrease. We said with the road superintendent, this is a budget that he could live with. Again, we did try to cut as much as we could on some operation line items. Next on your page, we have the capital outlay. The proposed for that is 23,952,530.75. There's a list that you have in the packet. And I can go by, one by one if you like, but for the most part, the ones in red is roll over from this year's budget to next year. Still working on I-49. We should be able to, I think our goal is to go out to bid by the end of the year. Wallace Road, 850 estimated. Cook Creek, what I have done is, if you look, we estimate to be 75% complete in 2025 and then rolling 25% of that work. Nothing on Bethlehem yet. Brown Road, Metcalf is about the same. We're expected to be done about 75% and then doing 25% in 2026. Marshall Road, it's ongoing. That's the opposite. We expect it to be at 25% complete in 2025 and doing 75% in 2026. Red Bluff, doing some design and construction. That's estimated to be at 3,125,000. And by the way, it's color coordinated. The yellow ones, it's been funded by the HB2 monies and PTF funds. The I-49, you have the 2 million for the EDA. And then the purple one, the Bird Streets were being funded $1 million from the LCDBG. We're still working on getting some plans to put that out to bid. WPA Road, that is from HB2 funds. That has already been bid, but the contractor won't start until 2026. For the new projects for 2026, you have Cotton Bell, that is using some of the PTF funds. That's estimated to be at $825,000. Red Bluff Phase 2, design and right-of-way. That is $200,000. Blunt Mill for design, $200,000. Hudson, Darby, and Sam Booker, design and right-of-way, $200,000. Jesse Latin, $200,000 for design and right-of-way. Linwood, road construction and drainage, $1 million. White Springs, 1.3, and then Nash Road, which that's in next week's approval for final, but that's $750,000. Now, most of the new stuff that we're putting for 2026 is design and right of way. What we're trying to do, and Mr. Reister's trying to do, is have everything ready to where legislative session starts, that we get some money from the state and have something already to put out to bid. So he's trying to get a head start on all that. So that's really going to be our plan moving forward. A lot what has happened with the HB2 funds that we got was that we didn't have all that prepared in advance. So, we didn't get money this year. That was one of the factors, that we hadn't spent anything. So we're trying to go ahead and do the design and right away ahead of time with police jury money, and then, hoping for the best that we get some money from the state and we can pull the trigger on starting those jobs. On the equipment and vehicles, they're asking for $519,82. We're asking for 4 F-150s. These are to replace some of the leased vehicles that we have. And then the equipment, 2 tractors, 1 Kubota cutters, and then 1 drag bush hog. Snorkel forklift for $80,000, and then fuel monitoring for $30,000.
Hey, Richard, they're air-conditioned tractors.
Does anybody have a question on the capital items? Mr. Reister and Mr. Clark are here, that they can probably go more into detail on those. Yes, Mr. Arnell?
Mr. Reiser, when you and I drove down Cotton Belt Road, the road was pretty much in bad shape, pretty much tore up. Right. And I think one of the reasons was because, I don't know if it was good liner was put up underneath of it. They started or whatever, but we're saying improvements in drainage. It really needs to be redone. That road really needs to be redone.
There's nothing set in stone as far as what's being done on Cotton Belt yet. You were the next one on the list for the PTF funds.
Right.
And I knew that was your road that you expressed concern over in the past.
Right.
So that's what we made sure we allocated all those PTF funds to Cotton Belt. But nothing more has been decided exactly what's going to be done, other than casual conversation like you and I have had in the past.
Okay.
Nothing set in stone on that yet.
Right, but really, it needs to be, completely
And a,
New road.
and a full rehab for the full length of it would take a lot more money than that. We might
Yeah.
bite off a piece of it and do a full reconstruction for that first piece, you know, coming in from 175, something like that.
Okay. Okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
A couple of months ago, we had a group of citizens here from Stagecoach Road about the dust and the fact that their road was not all mixed. And at that time, we were supposed to get a list of all the roads that that are gravel roads. And we would see about getting those oil mix roads, get oil mix put on it. I notice here now that the Pug Mill oil mix, we're decreasing it to 100,000. It was 200,000 last year, and now it's being decreased to 200. And I don't see the list of the roads, and I don't see an estimate on how much it would take to do all of the roads in the parish and get oil mix on them. So I'd like to see that. And if we have to give up something else, I would recommend giving up the spraying. That's $100,000 and put it towards the oil mix for these roads.
I mean, you'd be looking at millions. You'd need $3 or $4 million to do that. I mean, 'cause you're talking we have all the gravel roads in Doley Hills and countless miles of roads that have just, you know, very, very low volumes.
I mean, the night they came here, we had some jurors that's been down here 14, 15 years that said they thought we didn't even have any more gravel roads. You know, I could count 3 or 4 in my district that I know of, I could tell you about. So I knew we had a lot of gravel roads.
We have
But
very.
that's what we
quite a
were
few
told
miles.
that night, that we would get a list of all the roads that were gravel and see what we could do about getting
Man.
oil mix. At least get them covered with oil mix. But like I said, now we're seeing our Pug Mill oil mix being decreased from 200,000 down to 100,000. So we're not planning on going very far with oil mix this year.
I think that the decrease was just for the labor associated with that, not the
Correct.
materials. That's just a contract. We're still, we're making more oil mix. We're just separating the line items
Okay?
out of there.
So where is the oil mix that we're making ourselves then?
Well, we've
That-
always hired that out. We don't ever make it ourselves.
The,
Always hire that contractor to do
that
it.
line item, Mr. Holmes, is to pay the actual guy that comes and does the labor to mix it. The actual material comes out of your road and bridge material, that
Okay.
3.5 currently that we have. That's where most of the material for that comes out of.
Okay,
Yeah.
I understand.
And we are increasing the oil mix production, for sure. I mean, we talked about increasing that. I mean, the year before, we increased it by 30%, and I think this year we're increasing it an additional 25% at least, to address all that. And the Stagecoach, I actually asked them about that earlier. Stagecoach, we've spent approximately $140,000 of that project. That's ongoing. We are currently fixing that issue.
But is that
So-
on gravel or on oil mix?
That's oil mix.
Oil mix.
That was the request, that the jury amended the budget
that's
by
what we're gonna do on that night.
How come
$300,000.
y'all done something lately?
Oh, yeah,
He's
they've
working on it.
been doing it every day, as far as I know.
I'm about to go down, okay.
Yeah.
Hold on, now, let me, quick question. I had to get them mixed up, Stagecoach and Claude Dan. So Stagecoach is the one with the cemetery.
The one that breaks off the curve there of 3015.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. I would get them to Claude Dan.
You good with that, Jimmy?
I'm good with that, except I would like to see the list that y'all said you would come up
Yeah,
with.
I made that request before I went on vacation, and he's working on it. We have that all in binders, and that has to be, you don't wanna, I mean, the list of binders are endless. We have to put that in electronic format, so he's working on that.
It's close to 200 miles long.
Well, I'm sure we've got a lot that there aren't a lot of people that live on. You know, 2 Mile Road,
We have a lot
you know.
that nobody lives on.
Yeah, a lot of in Dolly Hills,
No.
which we've had to take in.
That's what
are-
I'm saying. It would be not sensible to do those roads.
Correct.
I understand that. John's Road, there's one house on it. You know, from Holmes Road up to the parish line. It wouldn't be, to my idea, it wouldn't make good sense to do the whole road. But just to get up past that one house, you know, it possibly would.
Yes, sir.
But anyway, I'd like to see us put more on getting these roads oil mixed.
And some residents don't want oil mix on the road. They want it left gravel road. One road in particular is Walker Road in Stanley. But there's a few that they want gravel so they can maintain it themselves. That's what they told me.
Any other questions? Comments? Motion to approve the road fund budget. A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Mr. Fuller, Mr. Clark, and me vote aye. Our next wonderful thing here is the solid waste fund budget.
Okay, the
We
beginning.
picked up the pace. You see, we did that in 20 minutes.
Exactly, 20 minutes.
And no questions.
The beginning fund balance projected for 2026 for solid waste is $17,440,409.
Hang on just a second. Y'all need to remember that $8 million of that is sitting in the bank that we can't do nothing with to pay closure, post-closure. It's just sitting there. Somehow we gotta figure out how to steal it.
We prefer the term appropriate.
Is that showing in this 17 million?
Yes, that
Yes,
is
sir.
part of that 17
Why
million.
couldn't
yes.
they take that and put it aside and show it in a different fund? So that it wouldn't be part of this, so we would never get it mixed up.
It mixed up in your head. Well, Lily won't let you get it mixed up, I
No.
promise you. Me and her sit down and we talked about all this
Correct.
Friday. She know, and she goes, you know that 8 million of that is closure, post-closure. You can't touch that, so.
Total revenues projected for the year is $11,755,806. On the expenditure, land operations, landfill operations, $6,697,957. Parish collection sanitation, this is the compactor side, $1,735,131. Capital outlays, $6,084,025. A transfer out, $793,000, and that covers a transfer out of $500,000 to the sinking fund, and then $293,000 to the insurance fund. This is a total decrease in the fund balance of $3,554,307. Ending fund balance projected to be at $13,886,102. Your monthly 4-month operating expense contingency of $2,811,029. On the revenue side, I'm sorry, the ad valorem taxes lower by $249,264. Sales tax revenue a decrease for about $60,000. And then your fees and charges for services, which is your tipping fees. If you take your tipping fees, fuel surcharge, and environmental charges, this year budget was 8.7. Roughly, we're putting that in half. We're estimated to collect $4,500,000 on that for next year. So that's half on the tipping fees. Your expenditures, your salaries include a 3% COLA. They're fully staffed with the exception of a mechanic 2 that is not being funded. Position is there. We're just not funding it for this year. Contractor labor, you can see we're lowering that from $40,000 to $25,000. The official fees, 200,000 to 150,000. And professional fees, 700,000 to 650. So we did some cuts on that. Landfill marketing fees from 200,000 to 100,000. I know we sent Live Oak a cancellation notice. This is just in case we decide to get somebody else, and Mr. Norton wanted that allocated, so that's $100,000. Rental of equipment, 821,406 this year. We're dropping that to 750,000. We did finish some of our lease rentals this year on that we turned back. Maintenance of equipment, dropping it from 800 to 700,000. Insurance, dropping that from 220 to 180. Maintenance of building and grounds, dropping that from 250 to 150. Material, supplies, and gas and oil. Original budget this year was 400,000, dropping it to 250 based on projections of where we'll be this year. Supplies, 40,000, dropping that to 25. Everything else pretty much stays about the same. For the compactor sides, your salaries for operations, this includes a 3% COLA for the part-timers, and just know that the drivers and the assistant superintendent of the compactor side salary is included in here. So you have 5 full-time employees here. And this does include the new hour schedule that y'all voted on previously. We cut probably about 10,000 hours or so in hourly. Maintenance of equipment, we are increasing that from 180 to 200,000. Insurance on this, we are increasing it from 18,000 to 30,000. A lot of the stuff at the compactor sites were not included in our previous policy. So the broker that we got this year went ahead and went to each compactor site, and he's like, yes, y'all need to have some of this insured. So this is why that increase is there. Technology expense from 6,500 to 15,000. We are looking into some other type of internet provider. The rural areas are having a hard time having connectivity to it. So when those compactor employees have to clock in, a lot of them are having trouble. So IT is looking at what else is out there available for that. So that is the reason for increase on that line item. Gas and oil, 200,000 to 100, dropping it to 150. So outside of in this fund, based on our cuts, it's roughly we lowered the budget from this year's budget by 753,000, roughly about 8.5% on that. Once again, we sat with the department heads and made sure that this is something they could live within those means. The capital outlay, it's $6,084,025. If you look at the list, it includes the purchase of a D6 dozer for $631,825. Large compactors, 6 of those at $20,000 a piece. 4150. This is to replace a lease vehicle that the assistant superintendent out there that was just recently hired, so we can return that lease vehicle. Then we have 7 portable finished buildings. These will go at South Mansfield, Lula, Kickapoo, Stonewall, Evelyn, Grand Cane, and Salone Road compactor sites. This is to actually replace their portable buildings out there that I'm told they have not been replaced since they were put out there. Then we have open top containers, the 40 yards, 4 at 7,000 apiece. These are to go at the Stonewall compactor site. You drop down, you have the construction of the compactor site, budgeted $2 million for that. We have land acquisition for landfill expansion at $2 million. Then we have wetlands mitigations for future sale, $160,000. Landfill permit renewal, $70,000. Leachate pump station, $543,000. Tow drain in North Slope, $279,000. Preliminary feasibility study, $51,000, and leachate clean out, $100,000. All those services down there are all done and proposed by our engineers, Forey and Diabri. Any questions on capital?
Yeah, is there a way we can look at smaller or lower to the ground open tops?
Those open tops are specifically for the Stonewall
Yeah, but come
compactor
out
site,
all the other
which
sites.
has a bi-level. But you're talking about for the other ones? We have the other ones. The jury passed some time ago to put 30 yards, and where the 20 yards are needed, I mean, you just need to be requested, and we can get them out there.
What are the 12 by 10 buildings for?
That's your little office building
Yeah.
at the compactor site. Some of them are just time to be replaced.
Right. Yeah, they're all portable, and eventually we're gonna have to replace all 18 of them. We're just biting off the worst ones right now.
Any other questions?
Yes, ma'am. What is the leachate? What is the profit that we get from the leachate? None.
Done. Yeah.
So why don't we, okay, that company, they decide not to pull away from us, not to bring the trash down to us, right? Who was that, we was? Live Oak. They decided to go with someone else, right? So we lost that revenue. But
That
they-
was associated with the Pratt material.
Right,
Yes, sir.
but but we're still taking in their mess, not to say for a better word.
Yeah, nowhere near the capacity or volumes. The leachate, what we're currently dealing with out there,
Yeah.
are a result of trash that y'all took well before my administration. They've just, and it was so wet. That Pratt material was wet. When I started, we started drying it out, turning their trucks around, and that was helping decrease the leachate production. But that Pratt material was so wet. You'd make a little bit of revenue because it was a little bit heavier, but it was nowhere near offsetting the future cost of leachate processing, which DEQ is mandating that we have to either discharge it or ship it out. So we never made money off of leachate.
I don't see why the purpose of be taking something, man. I don't like taking, it's like, you take away the gold, I should say, but you leave us the trash.
Yeah, and Arnell, to be fair, all of it wasn't all.
Trash is for a better word.
I'd say probably, if I just had to guess, 60-70% of that leachate that we produced out there
Yeah.
was a result of that Pratt material, but a lot of it was a result of not having covered material for so long. When it rains on uncovered garbage, that directly creates leachate. Now, since we've started, Josh has been able to maintain a complete covered area with less than, I want to say, an acre or two of garbage, which greatly decreases your leachate production. So,
But as long as you have a landfill, you always have leachate,
Right.
regardless.
we're fortunate to have the 3 million capacity leachate pond out there, because that really saved us in the long run. It did. So.
What is leach, I know what this is, but I'll let you tell me. Leachate pump station for off-site disposal, design, construction, and whatever CQA is.
That's that capital project to build a turnaround pad to start pumping out, trucking out some of the leachate.
Trucking leachate to other sites.
Trucking leachate to, actually specifically the downhole facilities. And there's one in DeSoto Parish that's about to come online. So that gives us an alternative to the discharge, because the way and Josh could probably correct me more if I'm wrong about this, but in having discussions with our engineers, the leachate, the levels that DEQ is testing, you have to have so many parts per million less than a certain, in the testing. Well, they keep upping the testing levels, so it's like 8 parts per million. Well, now it's 4. Well, it soon could be 2 for just things like ammonia. So if you are above a 4, you're going to get cited for that. It used to be much higher than that, but DEQ keeps decreasing that. So our testing is, we're going to fail. I mean, occasionally, nowhere near what we were before, but we're going to fail occasionally. But in the alternate, based on what our engineers are telling us, and John Fourier, who was here last week, can speak to this much better than I can, eventually they're going to get away from discharge. We're not going to be able to discharge into creeks anymore, which is currently what we're doing with some of the treated water. So.
Well, does the holding pond you were talking about, it helps with the, like you were talking about, ammonia levels?
Yes.
Because the ammonia will evaporate out, won't it?
Right.
Yeah, but I don't think the evaporation level is near what it needs to be. And we get so wet here, especially during November, December, January, and February times. It just stays wet out there. So, that answer your question, Greg?
Anybody have any other questions? Only been 15 minutes. Need a motion to approve the budget for the solid waste.
Second?
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Richard and Bubba and me say aye. Okay, here comes a 5-minute budget.
It's really 5 minutes.
This is self-insurance
This
fund.
is the self-insurance, projected to be at $70,721 has our beginning fund balance. Premiums and interest that we receive for that, it's $936,022. This is the premiums that we collect from our employees and other entities that we have on our insurance plan. The total expenditures are projected to be at $2,977,635. The transfers in, and it's what you saw in every budget, is money that it's our 80% that we're covering for the employees' insurance is at $2,188,174. A net increase of $146,561 with an ending balance of $217,282. If you see on the other page, we did not have a budget set for 2025. Last year, we started this halfway through the year, and I was told with the auditors we didn't need a budget, and now we kind of switched the way they want that on their books. But pretty much you see the premiums we collect from our employees, you see the other entities' premiums, and then you're seeing what we're paying out. And we based that, I think last year was at 2.8 that we were scheduled to pay. You do see that that's going up a little bit. Our hopes is to kind of just stay afloat on this fund. Does anybody have questions on this?
Any questions? Any comments? If you look at it, really, we're doing pretty good being self-insured. It's, I think it's a little bit better than just paying them outright. It's
Correct.
a lot more work for some of the girls in the office to keep up with it, but they're learning how, and it's starting to work out pretty decent. I need a motion to approve the budget for the insurance.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion, any further, whatever. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Richard, let me see aye. Aye. All right, you got 3 ayes, we're good. Motion to adjourn.
Yes, sir.
I got one question, but it actually has to do with the solid waste fund.
Okay.
You mentioned earlier that our insurance went up because our insurance agent that's carrying us now went to some of the compactor sites.
Correct.
And said there's equipment there that we didn't have insured, that now he thought it needed to be insured. What
Yes.
equipment was that?
It's not equipment, it was the actual portable buildings. None of those, nothing at the compactor side was included in our policy. So let's say you had a windstorm and the fence broke or the portable buildings out at the compactor side disappear, we would have to go ahead and replace those ourselves. They were not part of the insurance.
Okay.
Or the compactors either.
Correct, or the
Compactors.
compactors. Nothing
Compactors
at
are
the
more expensive than
compactor
those
sites.
So,
Yeah, nothing at the 18 compactor sites, nothing was ever insured on our property and casualty insurance. And that's why you have, I think it was 18,000 for the insurance under the compactor site line item, and then are upping that to about 30, I believe. Making sure.
That increase, you don't know how much of it was towards that.
I do not know. We're bringing his proposal for travelers at the December meeting, and maybe he can shed some more light on that, Mr. Holmes. I can ask him about it, see if he has something line item on that.
Anybody have anything else? I thank all of y'all for coming, I appreciate it. Take a motion to adjourn.
got it.
Motion and a second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. That concludes our budget